The following is a presentation of the Rowan Television Network.
Welcome inside Pagula Ice Arena here in University Park, Pennsylvania for this RTN Live version of Rowan Ice Hockey. It's the Rowan Profs taking on the Penn State Nittany Lions live here on the beautiful Penn State campus. And good afternoon once again, everybody. Alongside my partner, Benny Pinella, our producer, Jose Bautista. I'm Cody Decker. Well, the Profs coming off, like I said, a rout of the St. Joseph Redhawks, a 12-3 victory last night at Hollydale in a game that they didn't really seem to care about, but they took care of business. But really the focus is on today's game. Big playoff implications with the MAC North seeding. A win today for Penn State will lock up the #1 seed. A Profs win will keep the hopes alive, rounding out the regular season. So let's bring in Benny Pinella. And Benny, we're coming off the Profs coming off a 12-3 win last night in a game that they really didn't care about. We're coming off a strong performance offensively against a team that just hasn't had their way all season. What's the mindset? What is the mindset that you believe in talking to Coach Caulfield today, coming off the bus and coming off of that victory, being so focused about this game? What do you think the mindset is here for the Profs?
Well, I wouldn't say they didn't care about that game. They took kind of a cerebral assassin approach. I'd say they're almost like hitmen. They came in, they took care of business, and they cleaned house, and they got out. Their mindset tonight is one thing: winning your #1. So that's what they're looking forward to do. And you know, Penn State isn't an unstoppable force here. They're not an unbeatable team. They've been beaten before. They actually have one loss on the season to a Siena team that really wasn't that good of a team. They lost that game. They lost that game 4-3. So it's not like this is a Penn State team that can't be beaten. They haven't beaten once on the season. Rowan challenged them when they were at home, all the way back, all the way back in October. So we know what this team can do on Rowan's side. Penn State, they have to do what they do. All right, and this is a very good Penn State team, and of course they're pumped up because it's senior night.
Definitely a big night here for the seniors. 11 graduating seniors, including 6 of the top goal scorers for the Penn State Nittany Lions, playing their last regular season home game here tonight against Rowan. Let's talk about some of the matchups a little bit. You're talking about the Profs coming off the big win last night, and really for a line that has been a little slow coming off the break, Alec Nikolai, Brett Leshevsky, and Shane Brennan combining for 9 points last night in the St. Joe's game. Shane Brennan with a hat trick and an assist. 2 assists for Brett Leshevsky, 2 goals and an assist for Alec Nikolai. And really, that line has got to be a force tonight, going up against the top 3 goal scorers for Penn State. Christopher Lewis with 30 goals on the season. Francisco Reluzco, 19 goals, 22 assists. And Ryan Urban, 17 goals and 34 assists for a team-leading 51 points. The Profs are going up a 3-headed monster tonight, Benny. How do you think they're going to be able to match up against this 3-headed monster and try and contain them?
Well, the one thing the Profs are going to have to do is you can't out-physical a Penn State team like this because they're just too big. You look on the ice at some of these Penn State players, and you see a team that really, there's no stopping them. They're just massive individuals. So what the Profs are going to have to do is play that quick game they played earlier in the season. When these two teams met, the Profs kind of sped past them. It was a really, really quick game. And I think it caught Penn State off guard because Penn State really wasn't able to rebound from that. They did go on to win 3-2, but Profs always kind of hang in there, and they do have a lot of speed. The other thing Profs do is they work very hard. Shane Brennan was saying last night, all they have to do is just work hard, and they'll be rewarded for their hard work. And against Penn State, they're going to have to work just a little bit harder than normal, but they're still at a chance where you work hard, you do what you have to do, and the Profs can come away with the victory. Now, Rowan also added Dalton O'Connor, so that may change some things because, you add Dalton O'Connor, their third line's playing better. Instead of having 2 great lines and a good line, now you have 3 really solid lines that can compete during their minutes and consistently. So I think that'll help the Profs out a little bit.
Penn State undefeated in conference play at 11-0 on the season, an overall record of 22-1-1, truly a powerhouse. But Rowan is looking to stop their momentum tonight. Penn State coming off a late game that ended about 12:30 last night, you could say this morning, and not much time to rest for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Benny, would you say the Profs maybe have a little bit of an advantage coming off a game? They had ending up starting earlier than Penn State and having to go through a long game against a Division I team last night?
I think that was a major advantage going into this one because the game got moved up to 12:45. It's now just getting started here at around 1 o'clock because of the senior day festivities. So I think that may have nullified it a bit. You get that extra kind of couple minutes of rest on the ice. You're not really working too hard. But I think last night it was interesting to see how, they move up the game, but they also kind of suffer because they're playing such a late game. Now, not to say that Penn State comes in and says, oh, we're going to mess with the props. They don't. And to even make an assumption of that is asinine. But really, when you sit down and you look at things and you saw how long last night's game went, you have to assume that the Penn State did not get into their houses and in their beds until around 2:30. And then, of course, you're still running on adrenaline, so you're not actually going to bed probably until around 3 o'clock. I don't know. That's just me. I'm a high adrenaline guy. So the Profs, we all know that most of them got a lot of sleep. They were able to rest, and, of course, on the bus ride, it was fairly quiet. The Profs doing their fair share of rest as well. So I think the Profs are well rested. The bus legs, the theory of having bus legs, I think that may be thrown out the window because Penn State, they have a lot of adrenaline coming off of last night's win, but I don't think they have the energy because it took them until probably around 2:30 to get into their own house.
1-2 in the MAC North, 3-5 in the Southeast. In the Southeast region, a lot of things at stake in this one as the regular season is rounding out. Currently getting the starting lineups right now. But for right now, we're going to step aside. We'll get you the starting lineups and the drop of the puck as we step away for the national anthem. The pregame festivities out of the way, and we are set for Rowan Ice Hockey right here on RTN Channel 5 and our RTN 24/7 live web stream. We thank you for joining us. Again, Cody Decker here on the call alongside my broadcast partner, Betty Pinella, our technical producer for today's game, Jose Bautista. Let's get you the starting lineups right here for your Rowan Profs. Alec Nikolai, Brett Leshevsky, and Shane Brennan making up the front three. On defense, Andrew Doherty and Nick Fowler. Starting goalie will be Cody Riley coming off a day's rest. For the Penn State Nittany Lions, Neil Lacing, Frederick Linge, Austin Meehan, Logan DeMarcus, Spencer Svoboda, and between the posts will be Martin Gudowicz. And we'll get you that goalie matchup in just a little bit as a drop of the puck. We are underway here in Pagula Ice Arena here in University Park, PA, as the Penn State sends it down, but it's a nice play from Nick Fowler off of a hand pass. He dove and blocked the puck, ended up with a hand pass as play is stopped and will be taken into Rowan's zone. Let's get you the goalie matchup here. We'll start off with Cody Riley. 21 games on the season, 13-3-1, a 3.43 goals against average, and an .899 save percentage. Again, coming off the night's rest, preparing for this one. As the Penn State Nittany Lions win the faceoff, but Rowan gets it back. Shot is fired, blocked away. 2-on-1 here with a shot fired. Pad saved by Riley. And right away, here comes Brett Leszewski coming down the near side boards. Sending it in. Rowan will make a line change. Penn State now behind the net. Sending it around. And back to the near side boards where Rowan will pick it up. Here's Alec Polis. Trying to send it around. Rob Wilworth trying to find it, but he can't. Penn State sending it all the way down. Riley will stop it. Glassman passing it over to the far side boards. And an interception here. Penn State may possibly with a chance here. He's got to get through 3 defenders. He does come away with the puck. That's Christopher Lewis. Played into the corner. Intercepted here. Possible chance for the Profs as a shot is fired. Blocked away by Gudowicz. Played into the corner. Charles Quigley on a shot. Blocked away. Puck sent down. The arm is up and icing will be called. Send it back down to the Penn State zone. 18-18 to go here in the first period. On the other side, Martin Gudowicz. Only 3 games played on the season. 1-0, a .84 goals against average, and an 80% save percentage. Face-off won by Penn State. Take it through the neutral zone. And sending it in. It's a race for the puck. Penn State coming out with it. Intercepted by Curiali now. Possible 3-on-2. Curiali sends in a shot just wide. Played all the way down the length of the ice. Picked up by the Profs. Here comes Dalton O'Connor sending up for Slava Auction. Auction on a slap shot. Saved by Martin Gudowicz. 17:39 to go here in the first period.
They're starting Gudowicz. He's one of the 11 seniors they're graduating this spring. It's kind of fascinating. 11 seniors you graduate. That is a massive class.
As a shot's fired and blocked away, definitely going to miss those top 6 goal scorers that we mentioned in the pregame, including the top 3 that we highlighted. Sending it down the near side boards now, playing it behind the net. Penn State trying to get something going offensively. As a shot is played in off a stick, unable to be handled. Doherty along the boards with a hit. Puck comes back for Doherty here in the corner. Doherty trying to send it up for Brett Leszewski. Played in the neutral zone. Shane Brennan sends it in. One-man change for Rowan as Penn State now. Plays it through their defensive zone now through the neutral zone. Nice play by Brett Leszewski to get that away. Doherty playing it around the net now. Setting up along the far side boards is Leszewski, but Penn State will take it and make the rest of the line change. Will the Profs. As icing will be called here in the first period. We mentioned the previous matchup, a 3-2 victory for Penn State in a game where Rowan had the lead, 1-0, but lost it right away. About a minute later, it went 1-1. Penn State took a 3-1 lead. The Profs were able to respond in the third, but could not tie up that game.
That was one of the cleaner games played by the Profs. Only 2 penalties committed by the same guy, Brett Leszewski.
Shot fired by Polis now on the rebound. Oh, he's tripped up, and a penalty will be called. And we will have our first penalty of the day. And the Profs will go on their first power play opportunity. It will be Spencer Svoboda into the box for 2 minutes off of a tripping tripping penalty on Alec Polis. And the Profs will have their first power play of the day.
Profs power play has made leaps and bounds in terms of growth since their struggles earlier in the season. Of course, the addition of Dalton O'Connor has helped that.
Sending it now through the neutral zone. The Profs trying to get something going, but a possible short-handed chance for Austin Meehan. Couldn't get through the Profs defense. As the top line is out there, Alec Nikolai now working through the neutral zone, looking for Shane Brennan. Brennan trying to work it around, and maybe the Profs could get something going, try and tire out this penalty kill. Leszewski sending it back for Brennan. Back to Leszewski. Leszewski for O'Connor. O'Connor with a shot just wide. Penn State tries to clear. They do get it past the blue line, and the Profs will have to reset. O'Connor sending it in for Slava Auction. Penn State clears. Doherty's got to try and get it. Doesn't win the battle as possible centering chance is poked away. Play behind the net now. Aggressive forecheck so far from Penn State. Sending two guys down there. Slava Auction playing it back for Alec Polis. Polis, he's a speedy skater. Working it around the net. Trying to get something going. Good job trying to clear the zone, or keep it in the zone, excuse me. But Penn State does send it down the length of the ice. 25 seconds to go on the Profs power play. Sent up the ice. Here's Auction. Auction up the right wing. Good opportunity. Looking for a rebound, but cleared away by the Nittany Lions. Final 5 seconds here of the power play. They'll take it behind the net. And the power play goes for naught, 0 for 1 for the Profs power play. Giving chase is Rob Wilworth. Around the net. Go the Lions, they send it all the way down. Icing waved off. That's Peter Kaz and Nikolai trying to get it. Backhand chance for Josh Singley is gloved down by Cody Riley. 13:55 to go here in the first period. Still no score.
I want to think back to the 11 players that the Nittany Lions are losing. That's essentially 2 lines and your goalie. And that's just a lot to overcome, especially when you look down at the list of players they have to replace the people leaving. And not a lot there. I mean, you have Abraham Edison and Josh Stingley, only 10 goals on the season, 22 and 23 points respectively, but still you'd think that they'd want to have a little bit more depth there or something to bridge the gap over. It's definitely nerve-wracking.
That's going to be difficult to replace. You're talking about a top team in the region, a top team in the league as far as the MACH is concerned. Face-off now in Penn State zone is won by Rowan. Sending it in is Tyler Schickner, but Penn State able to pick it up. Chance now. He's got a defender beat. One in the goalie.
Unbelievable save.
Incredible save by Cody Riley.
Unbelievable. Cody Riley is earning his nickname Big Country in big ways. That was a one-on-none chance, and Cody Riley somehow was able to corral that one. Unbelievable. I don't even think he knew where the puck was.
Good chance for Frederick Lynch. It wasn't Frederick Lynch. Austin Meehan on the chance, but Cody Riley, with a little help from a slashing penalty, still was able to just land on that. Excellent save by Cody Riley. As Brian Keller is going to head to the bench on a penalty for slashing. And the first opportunity on the power play for the Nittany Lions. Coming into this game, the Nittany Lions, 23.6% on the power play, 88 chances. As Penn State trying to work it around now from his knees. Frederick Lynch working it around. Sending it to the point now. Slap shot. Pad saved by Riley. And as Rowan player was trying to clear, the penalty will be called. Delayed penalty coming up. Oh, big check from Polis. Play behind by Doherty. Now the Profs. Playing it up, that's Fowler. Hit from behind, Doherty. In the corner, just trying to get Penn State to touch it up, and they will. And a little pushing and shoving after the play.
Profs did a great job there of killing the clock a little bit. Now, that 2-minute penalty goes all the way down to 1, and the Profs are going to have an extra minute after that to have a man advantage. And this is a Prof penalty kill that really is one of the better ones in the region. 4 shorthanded goals, checked at 5 shorthanded goals in the season. So even when they are a man down, they're still a threat to score. It's like they can create offense out of nowhere.
Francisco Roluzco on the penalty, 2 minutes. 4 slashing, and we have 4-on-4 hockey for the next minute. Peter Kaz. Wrist shot blocked away by Meehan. Trying to play it up, he whiffs at it. Nikolai sending it back for Kaz. He's able to come up and play it. Hit along the boards. Now Shane Brennan through the neutral zone, trying to get it for Nikolai. Cannot connect. Sent up now. Alec Nikolai, possible 2-on-1. Shane Brennan trailing behind, able to come and get it. Shot fired, centering opportunity for Nikolai goes for naught. As Penn State now working it up. Lynch is tripped up. No call. 10 seconds left to 4-on-4. In an exciting game thus far. Brennan sending it around for Doherty. Keller comes out of the box. Prosser on the power play. 45 seconds to go with the man advantage. Playing it through the neutral zone, Slava Auction. Trying to work around the defense. Shot fire blocked by Josh Singley. Peter Cass sending it for Nikolai. Excuse me. Yes, that is Nikolai. Cass playing it back. And sending it across ice is Polis. But the Penn State's able to clear. 13 seconds to go here on the Pross power play. Their second opportunity of this game. Sending it across ice. Maybe a possible chance here as the clock expires. Poked away. Here come Penn State Nittany Lions. 2-on-1. Blocked away. Shot fired. Scored! And it's Francisco Roluzco on the goal. Goal number 20 on the season, point number 42. And off of a diving blocking chance by a Prof defender, it just trickles away. And Roluzco is able to find the twine. Penn State up 1-0.
Just an excellent offensive chance right there. The Profs have to clean it up on defense. As you saw, I think that one little poke, and it just wasn't enough. And you can't let Penn State get too many shots on Cody Riley. You can only stop so much, and that's just too good. Roluzco's just too good of a player. Make that for Francisco Roluzco. His 20th goal on the season. An important one here to take a 1-0 lead here in the first.
Shot fire here by Penn State. Goes all the way around and back to the other end of the ice. Profs need to try and respond. As we hit in the corner, Leszewski. Nikolai working it back now. Good play to keep it in the zone. Penn State sending it all the way down. Charles Quigley giving chase. Play into the corner, no one's there. Here comes Slava Auction. Auction trying to work through 2 defenders. He does. Auction. Shot. And a delayed call coming up. Another penalty for the Penn State Nittany Lions on its way. As Slava was working through Penn State defense. There'll be a call for icing. And a penalty is coming up. Colin Zadrowski heading to the bench. Heading to the sin bin, 2 minutes for interference. Face-off won by Penn State. Clearing it all the way down. Riley will play it. Here comes Polis behind the net. Polis trying to work it up ice. Trying to send it in. Here comes Slava Auction. Great moves through the Penn State defense. Shot scored!
I think they're going to call this one, though. I think they're going to say the net moved. Oh, no, they'll give it to him. The net looked like it budged just as Slava cut in. And that man right there, his play has improved drastically since the break, mainly because another guy on his line, number 29, has really come in and helped him, Dalton O'Connor and Slav Auction. You see the product of hard work, Slav Auction putting one in and tying this one up 1-1.
Just an excellent play by Slav Auction to get through the defense, and that's that third line we've been talking about. They really come along, especially Dalton O'Connor and Slava Auction, working together with great chemistry. And on that play, Auction able to navigate through the defense. He's done that well so far in this game, and we are tied at 1 in such a big matchup. Doherty trying to work it across. It's intercepted. Possible 2-on-1.
Ooh.
Shot from Taylor Vincent is blocked away by Riley. Here's Mike McGahey wearing number 33 today, folks. You're used to seeing him in the number 91 as Robert Wilworth fires a shot. That's blocked away by Gudowicz. Another slap shot is fired. Trying to deflect it is McGahey. And it'll go into the protective netting. 8:05 to go here in the first period. We are tied here at 1.
Maybe Mike McGahey just packed the wrong jersey. Did have to wake up pretty early, so you don't know, but he's not the only guy that may have packed the wrong jersey as the backup goaltender right now. It looks like he's wearing the home jersey when he's supposed to be on the road. He is wearing the brown, white, and yellow striped one, and the props are currently in their gold road jerseys.
Definitely something I saw Michael DeFilippis wearing the white stripe today. I guess that's all right. No problem.
When you wake up pretty early in the morning, things can get a little bit kooky.
Cross trying to keep pressure on it. Cannot. Here comes Penn State. Cross pass and shot fire. Oh! Opportunity there for Christopher Lewis to tap that one in. And shot scored! Ryan Urban. Ryan Urban, the leading point scorer for the Nittany Lions. His 18th goal of the season, leading team with the 52nd point. And Penn State responds right away, 2-1.
Oh, you saw it a couple times right there, just shooting one up to Cody Riley, and a lot of rebounds get kicked away from Cody. He's not really collecting them, and the props aren't really doing a good job of clearing the lanes. When you let a guy get right in front of the net to collect those rebounds, they'll just put it right on the net all the time. And you see when Riley gets into position to knock those rebounds out, he leaves the net exposed, and that's a giant opening for a really, really good Penn State team. That's how they worked all year long. Shoot it, get the rebounds, cut in, and get the shot or the centering pass, and you see it right there. They've done it now a couple of times, and it pays dividends in that situation.
And the referee's talking something over here with the captains. Christopher Lewis of Penn State, Shane Brennan of the Profs.
Can't possibly think it was about anything serious. Unless they're thinking of scratching the goal with a penalty. I don't know what's going on here.
No change in the scoreboard. It still says 2-1, and it looks like it'll remain that way. As Penn State trying to play it now through, but too many profs are in the area. Dalton O'Connor picking it up. Trying to send it back for Peter Kaz. He checks a Nittany line into the boards. Does so again. Oh! Ooh. Pile up there behind the net.
Kaz has to watch out because He already got clonked in the head one time during the year, and he had a severe concussion that put him out for the majority of the season. So anytime he goes down and hits his head, you have to really, really hope nothing bad happens.
Rowan sending it down the length of the ice, icing waved off. Penn State now trying to get something going, but a good forecheck from Rowan. Polis taking down an Nittany Lion player, as well as Mike McGay. He tripped up. Lions trying to send it up, but it goes past the red line, hits off the boards, and icing will be called. 6:36 to go here in the first period. Again, we thank you for joining us here on the live stream and on RTN Channel 5. Cody Decker alongside Benny Pinella. Our technical producer, Jose Batista. Currently in a 2-1 game here, Penn State with a 1-goal lead over the Rowan Profs.
Here at the luxurious Pagula Ice Arena. They have all the fixings here that you need to enjoy a nice hockey game.
Wilworth on a shot. That goes wide. Penn State picking up in the neutral zone. We'll get to the story of Pagula Ice Arena in just a little bit. Some of you might even know the story.
Following us on social media.
Played up now by the Nittany Lions and trying to send it in. Just these passes aren't connecting. As Schichter plays it up. And McGay, he's sending it up. There's Brett Leszewski. He's speedy. He gets a stick on it. Easy stick save for Gudowicz. Penn State now on a wrist shot. Saved away by Riley on a rebound chance. Abraham Edson unable to get a stick on it.
You see it again right there. Just slinging shots up on Riley and getting rebound opportunities.
Played in front of the net. Oh, it's just high for Taylor Vincent. And stoppage in play as the net comes off its Mourns. 5:27 to go here in the first.
Just countless times. Penn State skates down the ice, rips his shot on Riley, and because it's so hard, Riley can't corral it, and it kicks out. Last time that was pretty far out, and Penn State was cutting in. A couple of Penn State Nittany Lions were cutting in. And if they keep doing that and allowing Penn State to get those opportunities, it's going to get ugly pretty quick.
Face-off won by Nittany Lions. A shot fired is blocked away by Leszewski. Dumped in by Nittany Lions. Castle playing around. Sending it in is Nikolai. Doherty in there trying to get the puck. Does come out with it, sending it up for Brett Leszewski. Leszewski fires a slap shot. Blocked away by Gudowicz. Puck on the corner. Skipped. And played a shot fired. A wrist shot by Brian Keller is blocked away. Battle for the puck near the boards. Play is going to be stopped. And we'll come back into the neutral zone. 4:33 left here in the first.
This is what I'm talking about. Rowan's offense. They're really not getting quality opportunities. Slav Auction's really been the most effective offensive player. And even when Rowan pins the puck in there, they just kind of dump it in or they try to get a shot on the goalie. And they can't keep doing that and expecting to be able to get consistent offensive opportunities against Penn State. This is a tough Penn State team. You have to take what you're given, and they can't just keep giving up on plays.
Speaking of Slav Auction, he tries to navigate through the defenders again. Cannot do so, as Penn State will play it behind their net.
Be interesting to see if his line gets some added minutes because they've been playing so effectively in this game.
Played across here. O'Connor in on the play as well as Keller. Pass tried to skip up for Curiali by Slava Auction. Penn State through the neutral zone.
Great puck moving.
Played up the near side boards. Try for a centering chance for Francis Forney. Penn State trying to work through this near side boards, but unable to do so. Another chance, they just send it in. Trying to make a line change. And Rob Wilworth, off a pass from McGay, he's sending one in, and covering it up is Martin Gudowicz. With 3:14 to go here in the first period, Penn State up 2-1.
You saw in the last defensive stand, Brian Keller did what the profs need to do, which is clear the lanes out. Nittany Lion made himself a nice little hole right there, got a nice little, I guess you could say, positioning right in front of the net. And Keller just came over, shoved him out a little bit, and that's really what the profs need to do. They have to evacuate the space in front of the net from white jerseys.
Off a shot, off a pass from McGahee is Rob Wilworth. Blocking away from Gudowicz. Sent all the way down. The profs putting some pressure on. As a shot by Christopher Lewis. Blocked away by Riley. Puck in front of the net. Profs able to get it away. Played into the corner. Battling for it is Quigley. As the profs come out with it. Wilworth and Polis. Polis with the puck. Sending it, and Wilworth is offside. With 2:21 to go here in the first. Let's get to that story. Pagula Ice Arena is named after Terry Pagula, the owner of the Buffalo Sabres, and newly the owner, part owner of the Buffalo Bills.
Long-time and storied NFL franchise. Mostly known for their 4 consecutive appearances to the Super Bowl. It was in the 90s, and they haven't had the success they've experienced in the 90s, but still a franchise that's close.
Leszewski on a wrist shot, saved up by Gudowicz. And of course, Terry Pagula had to come in. Had to deal with Doug Marrone as the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, but Marrone decided to opt out of his contract. As part of the deal, he was able to have the right to opt out of his contract with an ownership change, as they have now hired former Jets head coach Rex Ryan. And we're interested to see what the Bills can do in a AFC East that has been ruled by the Patriots as of late. As Penn State is ruling the offensive chances right now. But Shane Brennan is able to send it down. Leszewski giving chase, but taken away by Spencer Svoboda. Still working it up the far side boards, and his shot is blocked away by Doherty. Glove down by Dalton O'Connor. No one knew where the puck was. Fowler will come up with it. Looking for Leszewski. Penn State able to keep it in. Blocked away by Doherty. Send up Slava Auction. Centering try for Leszewski. He'll just give it off to Dalton O'Connor, as he's unable to navigate through the defense. Poked away.
Profs have tried that move a couple times on these Nittany Lions. It's just not working. The Lions are a really, really smart, knowledgeable, experienced hockey team, and you can't pull off those moves to try and beat them around. You have to work the puck up. It's a process. You're not going to get consistent offensive chances, which is why I've been saying you have to make them quality chances and take high percentage shots.
58 seconds to go here in the first period. We remain at a 2-1 score. Played around the near side boards, and offsides will be called. Again, Rowan vying to try and get the number 1 seed in the MAC North. A win today will put them in a pretty good spot to vie for that number 1 spot. Penn State with a win will lock it up, and Rowan will be locked up at number 2.
And for those of you that don't really think that a 1-2 seeding matters, well, you're wrong, because that's the difference between playing Temple and Ryder. Just an easier, more, I don't really know how to say it, just kind of an easier way to get to the next round. Temple's a team that they're physical, and it's a backyard rivalry with Rowan, so Rowan would love to play Ryder. Not saying anything's a guarantee, but Ryder definitely isn't one of those teams that Rowan has had to struggle with. Temple's been the team that's given both Penn State and Rowan fits.
Rowan coming off a 9-2 victory in their latest game against Ryder as the first period expires here at Pagula Ice Arena. Penn State taking a 2-1 lead. Benny, give us your thoughts on that first period.
Well, I thought Rowan, for a short amount of time, played well. The Slav auction line, it seems to be the line that's doing the most damage to Penn State. But right now, Rowan has to definitely sit back and say, we have a 1-goal deficit. They're playing as if it's a tie, but right now, Rowan just has to try a little bit harder and work a little bit harder. They're not used to playing a team to Penn State's level. I haven't played Penn State since October, and really since then, their competition, not saying their competition has been low, but it hasn't been at the level that Penn State's at. So Rowan has to kind of work a little bit harder for Penn State. I mean, we see what Penn State's doing. They're dominating offensive chances. They just have to clean things up defensively. Rowan, when they do get in the offensive zone, brings the puck in pretty far. So I think Rowan's pretty close to getting that second goal, but Penn State has been oh so close to getting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. They've had a lot of good chances on Cody Riley, and Rowan has to feel lucky, but also tighten things on their defense.
Coach Caulfield, you saw shaking his head after that one, trying to figure out what's it going to take to stop this high-powered Penn State offense. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, it's going to be second period action right here from Pagula Ice Arena in University Park, PA. We'll see you in a little bit. We welcome you back inside Pagula Ice Arena for the Rowan Profs and the Penn State Nittany Lions. Nittany Lions with a 2-1 victory after one as the second period comes underway. Let's get you the scoring recap from that first period. For Penn State, it was Francisco Reluzco with a goal. Responded by Slava Auction on the Pross power play. But a lead made by Ryan Urban on a rebound chance with a couple of chances in front of the net to make this a 2-1 game.
And that's where the controversy starts. That Urban goal had a little bit of controversy behind it because afterwards they had a stoppage in play and officials were talking it over. We got a report from our very own beat writer for the Rowan ice hockey team, Dan Heening. He said that from what he saw, he thought the net was off its moorings when the puck crossed the red line, which would wave off a goal and keep this a 1-1 game. We'll see if that can come back and make an effect in this game.
As a turnover opportunity for Nikolai is blocked away.
Pardon that, Cody, but I just see if it makes an effect in this game later. Rowan still has a lot of opportunities here, and this game is far from over.
Pross playing it now through their defensive zone, now playing it up for Shane Brennan. Alec Nikolai now. Working back for Leszewski. That shot's way wide. Leszewski gets it back by the far side boards. Tries to play it back. Cannot connect. Doherty smacking it out of there. Penn State trying to make a pass. Shane Brennan intercepts it. And it's hit along the boards by Svoboda. Play in the corner. Battle for the puck. Profs get it out. Quickly trying to get a shot on, but can't. Through the neutral zone. 2-on-2 here. Worked up, but the Profs will play it. Polis tried to work it up for Wilworth, but Penn State works it down into the Rowan zone. Quigley giving chase. Able to set it over for McGahee. Trying to find Polis. Good job by Penn State to keep it in there in the zone as a centering opportunity for Abraham. Edson goes wide off the stick. Flicked in by Rowan, and the puck finds its way behind the net. Battle for the puck behind the net. Played into the corner. Sent over. Wrist shot. Blocked away by Riley. Hit from Quigley. And Rowan coming up with it now. Here comes Polis. Alec Polis on a wrist shot. Saved away. Glove save, and it looks like the Penn State Nittany Lions have made a goalie change. It's Michael DeGaetano, who was featured in the first matchup with Rowan. Michael DeGaetano coming in. 16 games played, 14-1-1 on the season. 2.34 goals against average and 88.1 save percentage.
Yeah, there's not much that would fire up Rowan much more, but I think that move may do it. You start a senior on senior night, and then you switch back to the goalie who's clearly superior. It kind of shows you what Penn State thinks of this game. And in a way, that would fire me up as a player to think that they think enough of us to not really even go with their starting goalie that normally would start. I understand it's senior night. I really do. Gudswitz deserves to get his chance, but it also seems slightly, I don't want to say rude, but kind of not very respectful of Rowan to put him and start him in this game and then switch back to Degatano later. I would let Gudswitz finish the game at least, but I don't know. It's an interesting move to go with Degatano. Gudswitz didn't have a bad first period, just wasn't worked a lot.
I think Penn State thinks this is just such a game with big stakes. You want to put your best player in there. I understand, again, senior night. I would like to honor the seniors if I was the coach, but when you're in such a big game, you're trying to clinch the number 1 seed in the division. Going into the playoffs, it's an understandable move. Rowan playing it behind the net, sending it over. That's Kiriawi on a shot. It's blocked away by the stick of Tyler Person. Auction coming out with it, working it behind the net for O'Connor. Auction gets it in the corner. Play to O'Connor. O'Connor fires a shot. That's blocked by a couple sticks. Auction trying to work through defenders. Just trying to get it away. It's Alexander DeBolt. Played up. Good save there from Dalton O'Connor to try and keep it in the zone. There's a stick out there. Someone's missing it. Second chance, Brennan tries to knock it down. Played through. Opportunity here for Penn State. Wrist shot and a centering opportunity as play is stopped.
And how many times have we seen an odd man rush and the net bulge off its moorings? Something up with the net a little bit on both sides, and that's seemed pretty loose. And kind of they're easily knocked out, and it's happened a couple of times so far. Speaking of that, once again, another odd man rush Rowan's allowed. Their defense definitely has to tighten up the center of the ice and take away the zone close around to the net. They cannot allow Penn State to continue to skate in and get opportunities.
Wachewski trying to center for Brennan, cannot find him. Spinning around, trying to send it over. Now Brennan on the wrist shot. Glove saved by Michael Degatano. 15:53 to go here in the second period. Still a 1-goal lead for Penn State.
And Rowan's played well so far. I mean, you have to consider that this could be a lot worse than what it is. And Rowan really has played well. They've done the Rowan University name proud. Right now they're looking to just get back into this, get the tie game, and set it back to where it started.
Well, we're trying to set it down, but turnover shot scored! Ryan Urban, it's goal number 2 on the game for him off of a costly turnover from Rob Wilworth. And Penn State now takes a commanding 2-goal lead here on the Rowan Profs.
Well, this is eerily similar to the first time these two teams met. 3-1 here in the second early. If it ends up the same way, Rowan looks like they'll have to settle for the second seed, but I don't think this team is ready to give up just yet. They have a lot of fire left in them. Of course, they made that long road trip to come all the way up here to Penn State. They would love to spoil Senior Day and the celebration that it is for the Nittany Lions.
Rowan definitely going to have to pick up the pace here. Not out of this one just yet. Plenty of time to make something happen. As Riley sticks away and a glove saved by Riley. We've been talking about the MAC division, but also in the rankings. Penn State number 3, Rowan number 5 in the Southeast region. So big implications there as well as the final ranking comes out at the start of the MAC playoffs on February 14th. Play behind the net. Charles Quigley playing up for Slav Auction. Auction tries to play it up, cannot, as the puck goes into the bench. And the puck will come back into the neutral zone for a face-off.
Ryan Urban announcing his presence in this game with authority. 2 goals so far. Last time these two teams met, he was kind of locked down. Didn't really get anything going. So it's interesting to see Ryan Urban emerge here as the factor player for the Nittany Lions when you thought it may have been a different player.
Absolutely Urban more of an assist guy with 34 on the season. Goal number 19 on his second one there, as Cody Riley's able to cover it up. And a little pushing and shoving at the end of the play behind the net. Referees will clear that one up. 14:52 to go here in the second.
It's Taylor Vincent tangling up with a prof. Lions are a team that's a lot of big bodies, as you can see. They're not necessarily too tall. They're just very thick and very built.
Pass intercepted by Shane Brennan, but maybe a possible chance here for the Profs. Goes for naught as the pass is just too far. Scrum for the puck in front of the Rowan bench. And popping out with it, Shane Brennan grabbing it. Here comes Brett Leszewski, playing it up for Nikolai. Nikolai into the corner is hit by Brent Antelik. Logan Rogers with the hit on a Nittany line. Played up for Leszewski, but cannot handle. It's got to be something to be worried about, too. I don't know how many times we've said the Profs are unable to just handle passes off their sticks. They just keep sliding right by. Played in, centering chance for Austin Meehan. Unable to get a shot on net. Played here by the penalty boxes. 3 Profs and a Nittany Lion, and Nittany Lion is going to swat it away. Profs will come back with it. Andrew Doherty sending it down. Played now by the Nittany Lions. Nice poke away. Profs have a chance. Center try, Polis. And the net comes off its Morns again.
That's kind of how it was when the Profs let up their second goal this one. Net coming just off its Morns. I'm telling you, these nets, I don't know if they're necessarily that secure into the ice because they've been budging on just about everything. Change of the wind from a player touching it to, I swear, like a slight breeze knocks these things right off.
Woodworth with a slap shot blocked away. Nice play by him on the last exchange. Trying to get something going for Rowan. Auction now. Plays behind the net, centering opportunity. Goes too far. Doherty on a wrist shot blocked away by Neil Lacing. Auction for O'Connor. O'Connor kicking it and trying to center it. No one's home. Auction. Playing it, and the net once again. Off its Morns, and that's going to be a penalty.
Yeah, it looked like a Penn State Nittany Lion may have done it. I can't imagine a Rowan Prof going to the sin bin for this. It looks like Penn State knocks it off whenever Rowan gets close. Not accusing them of that, but it's popping off just about every single time there's an issue, and it's not positive for the game. You're not giving Rowan a fair chance at an offensive opportunity. This is Rowan's first continuous offensive opportunity all game, really, and every time they get a chance or they get an angle, someone knocks the net off.
You're talking about all these opportunities Penn State had on the rebound. Well, Rowan's been getting goals like that all season coming off these rebounds. You can't keep stop and play with the net off the Morns and taking away all these opportunities for Rowan to get back in the game, especially with such high stakes.
So it's good that you give them a penalty. You tell them, hey, listen, you can't keep doing what you're doing, but right now it's kind of like too little too late because it's been a couple of times that you've knocked the net off its Morns. Not accusing anyone here of actually doing this, but you know, that's a typical penalty when you do it twice on an offensive chance, and it just gets frustrating.
So the penalty will be called on Michael DeGaetano for the net coming off its Morns. A player will be sent into the box for him. And the Profs will go on their 4th power play opportunity of the day.
Be served by number 12 for the Penn State Lions, Frederick Lynch.
So the Profs on the power play here. Working around, sent back to the point. Wrist shot fired. And a rebound chance for Leszewski. It went off his leg, then he was able to put a shot on net. It's knocked away by DeGaetano. Couple chances now for the Profs. Doherty working up the near side boards. Unable to get a good pass off, and the puck will find its way down the ice. .120 to go here on the power play. Brennan trying to find Leszewski. Once again, he can't handle it. Nittany Lions tried to clear, but Dalton O'Connor with a slap shot. That's off Shane Brennan. Puck in the neutral zone. Doherty will pick it up. Doherty trying to work through with the puck. Can't do so. Puck is cleared again. And a roughing penalty will be called on Andrew Doherty. So we'll have 4-on-4 for the next 55 seconds.
Not a smart penalty to take there for Andrew Doherty. Of course, you get the man advantage on a little bit of a gift there. Penn State starts making some mistakes and committing some penalties. You get that opportunity, and now you waste it by Andrew Doherty heading to the sin bin.
4-on-4, even strength hockey. As a shot was fired, Cody Riley able to knock it away. Back in front, scores! They're just getting every chance here. On every rebound, on every bounce. It just seems to be popping to a Nittany Lion, and they're able to find the net. On that goal, it's Neil Lacing. 10th goal on the season. And the Nittany Lions now take a commanding 4-1 lead here in the second.
Had that feeling going down the back of my head. I was sitting here thinking, you know, Rowan gets the penalty. They had their opportunity. This is the kind of thing where Rowan, when they get the momentum taken out of him, it's tough for them to get it back, especially against a tough Penn State team. And now 4-1. Yikes, things are getting ugly quick. And Rowan has to do some, self-analysis. They have to sit down and say, this is what we're made of. This is not essentially the season, but a big chunk of it right here. This is for the division. This is for Rowan's opportunity to announce themselves as a national powerhouse. And if they can somehow come back here against Penn State, this will really put the icing on a beautiful, I guess you could say, season of cake. Another Bennyism for you.
4-on-4 expires. Right now the Penn State Nittany Lions are on the power play as a shot is blocked away, and a big hit in front of the boards. Wrist shot fired, pad save, Cody Riley. Play behind the net and played up. Prof's able to clear. Penn State on their second power play opportunity of this game. 0 for 1 to start off. Playing out the far side boards now and played around the net. Sent across, back to the center, towards a slot, and a shot is way wide from Taylor Vincent. And Cody Riley is able to get up and find the puck and cover it up. 10:03 to go here in the second period. And a 4-1 lead for Penn State, who has just been getting every opportunity possible to put the puck on net. And that's, I'm sure, and Benny, you can elaborate on this as well. It's the size. They're just out. Their physicality is overcoming Rowan.
I wouldn't say it's physical, but they're just a very, very good team. These are kids that are, they eat, sleep, breathe, drink, dream hockey, and it's coming together right now. It's coming to fruition right now, all their hard work in the season. Rowan, not to say Rowan isn't working hard, it's just...
Power play expires and a shot scores. Christopher Lewis looked to be in on that one. The team's leading goal scorer, 31 goals on the season, point number 49. And Rowan is going to take a timeout as they have surrendered goal number 5.
Make that now 4 consecutive goals scored by Penn State, now 5-1. Remember when things were going 1-1 way back in the first period? Well, 9:38 here in the second, not so much anymore. To finish my point, Rowan, it hasn't been that Rowan's been completely outplayed. They've played them a hard game up to this point, but it's when they let their guard down and
Looking back, Benny, you talk about the game last night, a game that Rowan knew they were going to go in and dominate, but you rested Cody Riley. Do you think Coach Caulfield made the right decision?
I thought it was a good decision because, Riley's played in 21, now 22 games on the season. He's gotten a ton of work. He's been your horse. I think resting him for a little bit, that's a smart call because you go all the way down to Virginia the week before. He gets that extra day. So I liked it because Riley didn't have any business playing in last night's game. Let's be honest. Nattiello, it was Nattiello's night. Let Nattiello have some work, or even DiFilippo have some work. And really, I don't think resting or rust is any cause for the way this game's been. Rowan's defense just has to play better. They have to clear the lanes out, and they have not done that. They've allowed the trailing offensive player and the odd rushes to keep coming. And if they can't do that, this game is just going to get worse as the minutes continue.
As the shot bounced off the state, looks like it went off the back of the crossbar, so good bounce for Rowan, although Penn State with a shot. Christopher Lewis back in on that one. Another shot fired wide. Shane Brennan picking it up behind the net. Working it through, skipping it up. Olszewski trying to pick it up, and now Penn State again. Great move from Alexander DeBolt. But a good save by Riley. Rob Wilworth is in on the play. Delayed call coming up. It's probably going to be against Wilworth. Puck finds its way back in the Penn State zone. The goalie, Degatano, is at the bench. Penn State running clock here. And play is stopped with the delayed penalty. Rob Wilworth, 2 minutes for hooking, and if you're digging yourselves a hole for any chance to get back in this game.
I was going to say hooking was the penalty, and I want to go back to that last defensive stand. Once again, you see Rowan's defense not clearing out the lanes. Nittany Lions had a guy work so far into the zone that Cody Riley had to evacuate his spot in net just to be able to see the puck. That just can't happen. You have to clear out the zone. I don't know if it's necessarily out physicaling the players, but you have to just find a way to get that zone cleared.
Penn State throwing the puck at the net, blocked by a couple of props, and they'll start over. Played into the slot for Frederick Lynch. Unable to get it, and now a possible shorthanded chance is clearly poked away by Kyle Lees. And a 3-on-2 chance. Stopped by a call of offsides. The bench of Penn State didn't seem to like it. 1:29 left on the power play, 7:37 to go here in the second period.
We also have to remind the listeners that not only does Rowan have to win this game, they have to win it by 2 goals because that's the goal differential right now. And that means that Rowan would have to score 6 consecutive goals to win the conference or win their division so far in the Southeast Northern Division. And yes, it does feel very weird to say 3 different directions in a single division name, but Rowan really wants to win this division. They get a good opportunity for the tournament coming up in a little bit to get the number 1 seed and have to play Ryder instead of Temple. And you'd prefer to play Ryder just because Temple, you never know what can happen.
Big rivalry game, Rowan-Temple, a battle of the Owls. I believe two pretty close games this season between the two teams.
Rowan beat them 4-2 in the first matchup, and in the second matchup prior to their winter break, Rowan was able to beat them 5-4 on the road.
That was a 5-4 overtime victory in which they came back from 4-3 down. Shane Brennan with a goal at 25 seconds. That was Nick Fowler with a goal at 25 seconds. Shane Brennan with the overtime winner to cap off the first semester of hockey. As a shot is fired wide, a couple of chances here for Penn State to make their lead a 5-goal lead. Working it through so nicely. Some crisp passes by Penn State, really making this penalty kill work. Clock expires. Wilworth comes out of the sin bin. And they work it up for Wilworth. And icing will be called. Wilworth seemed to have him beat, and DeGaetano looked like he was going to go touch it up anyway. Questionable call by the referees here, and they're going to send it back to center ice.
That was, and I made this comment before on the air. I do not like it. It gets under my skin when they call it that early. Let the play out. When they call it that early, and I know, you know, I'm not saying the officials aren't doing their job, but when you call it that early, and you know, I know we're not getting, you know, the cream of the crop in terms of officials, but they are quality guys, and it just frustrates me. They know the game of hockey, so call it the way it's supposed to be. Don't call the icing calls too early when Rowan clearly had a shot at that one. DeGaetano made a mistake. It's frustrating.
Could have been a possible turning point of this game if Rowan really wants to try and get back and make this a game. But Penn State's working it up now. Trying to play it in the corner is Colin Sadrowski. Coming out with it is Penn State. Trying to get a shot on net. Pile up in front of the net. Penn State sending it to neutral ice and sending it back around. Riley maybe looking a little shaken up. Looks like he got a skate to the glove. Sending it up. Unable to knock it away. Chance for Penn State here. Centering chance. Unable to find net. Good opportunity there for Penn State. And Frederick Lynch on that play. Looking for a goal. 4:39 to go here in the second period. 5-1's your score. Here at the Pagula Ice Arena. Beautiful facility. Forget having to wake up early and get on the bus. I walked into this facility and I'm like, I'm going to be able to call a game here, and I'm excited about it. This is a beautiful facility, and we're happy to bring this one to you.
Anytime you get to go to Penn State, you get to see Beaver Stadium, which was really cool. Pulling up, you see this massive football stadium. You think, oh, man, that's just such a cool place to watch a sporting event. And, of course, you come to Pagula Ice Arena, and you see all the quirks. This is a high-tech facility. They have a press box. You know, we're accustomed to Hollydale, friendly confines of Hollydale does not have a press box, or as our producer Jose points, they have suites on the top row as well, and an absolutely massive scoreboard at center ice that hangs from the ceiling. Video boards everywhere, massive amounts of seating, a student section called the Roar Zone, and this is a place that, you know, is built for hockey and watching hockey events, and it's just such a cool place to take in a hockey event.
Especially with two great programs, a Division II team, a hot team in Division II, as well as the NCAA Division I team.
And having you brought up some of the quirks outside of the, inside the rink, there's some things on the outside in terms of like the Hall of Fame area. They have an area that's strictly for honoring the past players, and of course the touch screen that my friend and colleague Jose was playing with, and he liked it. It was pretty cool. And again, that's what happens when you have a lot of money to spend.
Shot fired, DeGaetano able to glove it away. Penn State sending it in. It's going to get chased. Is Nick Fowler. Hit along the boards, be able to stay with the play. Good job. As Polis comes off. It's possible 3-on-1 here. Polis gets it over for McGahee. Shot fired just wide. Dalton O'Connor also in on the play. Doherty sends it in. They'll make a line change. Is Rowan. Played into the corner, two props, a Nittany Lion. The Nittany Lion will come out with it. Ryan Urban, who has 2 goals to his name in this one. Shot, a little bit of a pad save there from Cody Riley. Another wrist shot blocked away by Doherty. Dalton O'Connor looking for Curiali, but passes have just not been there. Taken up, here comes Urban. Urban sending it through. Penn State will make their line change. Schickner playing up for auction. Slav auction trying to work through the defenders, is tripped up on the play and taken into the boards.
No penalty called.
Looked like he was just on his back and taking him into the boards there. I'm surprised there was no call. As Cody Riley sticks that one away, as well as a rebound chance. Center and try taken by Nikolai now, sending it up for Leszewski, able to bat it down and try and get something going. As the puck is sent down, and icing will be called. And the clock is still running. I don't know about that one. Clock seemed to run a little too far there. But it says 57.5 left here in the second period.
It looked like it ran about, I'd say 2, maybe 1.9 seconds past. Nothing too serious, but still, you never want to run too much time off the clock. Rowan has played some games that have had some clock issues. Going back, there's some clock issues with Villanova's game. There was some clock issues in some other games as well, but really the marquee one was Montclair State, the second game of the season.
Shane Brennan on a backhand chance. Blocked away by Degatana. And Nick Fowler unable to play it.
I have to tell you, how many shots has Rowan taken into a crowd of people and it hits someone? This is just frustrating.
Hence the physicality of Penn State, which I know, Benny, you said it hasn't been the biggest factor, but it has been a factor once again. Shane Brennan going in a sandwich of Nittany Lions. Doherty looking for Brennan. Brennan does pick it up. Nikolai on a wrist shot. Oh, just wide. Taking the neutral zone. And unable to be played by Nikolai as the clock expires here in the second period. Penn State totally taking control of this game after a 2-1 start in the first. They get 3 more goals here in the second period. That's where we stand at 5-1. Let's give you the scoring recap real quick. Francisco Roluzco and Ryan Urban in the first. Slava Auction able to answer with a power play goal. But it was all Penn State with 3 goals. In the second, Ryan Urban, Neil Lacing, and Christopher Lewis in on those goals. And Rowan's going to have to go out to the locker room and hash out what needs to be different, how they need to change the game plan, and try to find their way back into such an important game.
I think what Rowan needs to do is they have to sit back and realize that this game is very important, and they're not a team that's too far away. Yeah, you know, you said there that once again, and I'm going to defend this to the grave. Rowan is a physical team, and I don't believe that Penn State is that much more physical than them. I think the issue is they're just getting better shots or getting better opportunities, and Rowan hasn't capitalized on their offensive chances. They have to do what Penn State's been doing: get a guy into the zone, move him out, and try to get some good shots going. And they haven't been able to do that so far. Penn State has played very well, not knocking Penn State at all. That 21-1 record is 22-1 record now is really shining, and they're elite. They're an elite club team here. Rowan has an opportunity to take the next step and come back here. They have to do something that they've not done all season. That's score 6 goals in a single period, particularly the third.
Yeah, we talk about that tiebreaker. One of the tiebreakers that's going to come into play if Rowan can try and pull out a 2-goal win here in the third period. It's going to be tough, but if they pull that out, they still have a chance for that number 1 seed. But it's going to take a lot of different aspects, a lot of different changes in the locker room right now to make that happen. So the score right now, 5-1, Penn State over Rowan, but don't touch that dial, don't touch your mouse. Wherever you're watching us from, don't touch anything because we got a third period of action coming your way. Stay tuned for the third period right here on RTN, Channel 5. We welcome back inside Hockey Valley, and Pagula Ice Arena here in University Park, Pennsylvania. You know, it was over a century ago that hockey was played 2 halves, but we play 3 periods now in the present day, and that is why this game is not over until the clock strikes 0. And Rowan needs to find their way back into this game with such big stakes as we talk about the MAC North, as well as the Southeast region. Cody Decker here alongside my broadcast partner, Penny Pinella, and our producer, Jose Batista, making the trip here to Penn State for this important matchup as we get underway here in the 3rd period. Front line back out there for the Profs. See if they can maybe trigger something to get this game back into a competitive state. Andrew Doherty working in the corner, looking for Shane Brennan. Back to Doherty. Doherty sending it over for Nikolai. Nikolai to Brennan. 2-on-2. Brennan with a wrist shot, blocked away by a stick. Brennan trying to work the puck back for Nikolai, punched out by a Nittany Lion. Dumping it in is Alexander DeBolt. But the Profs will pick it up behind the net and send it in. They'll make their line change as Penn State is coming out firing, and a cover up from Cody Riley. 18:58 to go here in the 3rd period.
And Rowan, as we said, needs to do something they have not done all season long. 6 goals in a single period. Not just win this game, they need that 2-goal advantage to win or at least take the lead in the conference.
Scored 5 in the 1st period against St. Joe's last night, 5 in the 2nd period. But right now, first goal is to try and get a goal back as they have not come back from 4 unanswered goals. As a shot is fired wide from Frederick Lange. Hitting the corner by McGahee, trying to skip it out is Polis as a shot is fired and handled by Cody Riley. Just a little follow-up as I was visiting the touchscreen we mentioned earlier. Wanted to read up a little bit on the Pagula family. And Terry Pagula, a former Penn State student, a Penn State alum, made a nice donation to the hockey program, which included funding this beautiful facility today that you are seeing. As Alec Polis is playing it through the neutral zone and finds it. It's hitting to the boards, and Wilworth is hit on top of him. Penn State now, 3-on-2. A check, and almost, Brian Keller almost hits it into his own net. Penn State now, Ryan Urban on the puck. Can't come out with it. Charles Quigley in there. McGahee sending it up for Curiali. No one's home. They send it back. Here's Keller to Dalton O'Connor. Played to the neutral zone, sent in by the Nittany Lions. Slav Auction trying to get there. Check made by O'Connor. O'Connor will come out with it, try and play it around to the far side boards. Really both teams just trying to jockey for position here. As a centering chance is fired, rebound, scored. The initial shot by Tyler Person is met by Christopher Lewis. Christopher Lewis' 2nd goal on the game, 32nd on the season. And a milestone point, number 50 on the season. And the Nittany Lions continue their offensive pressure and a 6-1 lead now here in the 3rd.
Can't imagine the ride home is going to be too thrilling for Rowan. They've just been outplayed, and Penn State's a very good team. Rowan's had their opportunities, but again, when you can't get consistent offensive pressure, you really, really stress your defense, and Rowan plays a bend and don't break defense. They're not a great defensive team, but they have had their shining moments, and right now it's not one of those moments. They just cannot seem to stop the strong Penn State attack. been relentless. Now Rowan has to score 7 unanswered goals, and even last night, scoring the most goals they've had all year, they've still failed to eclipse 6 in a single period. And it's going to be tough. The writing's starting to show up on the wall a little bit, even early on. Never want to completely knock Rowan out of it because they do have a very good team, but it's just not looking good right now.
Rob Woolworth trying to work it through. Rowan's making a line change, so no one's going to be down there with him to help.
It's that as well. They've made a lot of line changes at inopportune times, and it just throws things off. Every time they get the puck and they bring it down, they're in the middle of a line change, or they're gasping for air. Or this team's being stressed to its max. Penn State really has shown just how great this team has become since we last played them.
McGahee sends in a wrist shot. It's blocked away, and now a chance for Penn State. Sending it around the net to the far side boards. Played through a centering opportunity. No one's home. Sending it in, glove down by Peter Kaz. Sent in, Rowan will complete the line change. And another pass. Can't find its destination. Cody Riley sticks that one away. Penn State coming out with it. Anslick fires a pass, and a shot is blocked. The shot by Josh Singley. Rowan now off a 2-on-2 wrist shot. Patrick Curielli goes wide. To center ice, and now in the Rowan zone. Penn State. Singley in again on the play, unable to find the pass from Abraham Edson. Slava auction on a shot. Blocked away. Puck goes by the blue line. And icing will be called as the puck comes down towards the Rowan net. 14:28 to go here in the third period. Nittany Lions all this one 6-1. And really for Rowan, it's not looking like they're not going to get the opportunities to try and get back in this game, which will slate them at the number 2 in the MAC North and may be affected by the rankings, but Penn State already on top. Big check at center ice from Polis on Person. And the Pross will play it up. Looking for Chris McDermott. Never get anything going. Here comes Grayson Petty. Petty sends it in, and another line change for the Profs. Back down here in Rowan zone. Penn State giving chase, coming out with it. Shot fired. And player's down. After colliding with Brian Keller, it's Frederick Lynch who is down on the ice, and he seems to be holding his arm. As he'll get up under his own power. Definitely shaken up. And Lynch will make his way to the bench. Hopefully he's okay. Lynch, a very consistent player. 12 goals, 12 assists on the season. 24 points. Penn State tried to play it across, but Rowan will pick it up. It's Nikolai. Nikolai sending it over. Nobody there. Nikolai picks it up. Chance for Nikolai here. Nikolai tries on the backhand, but it's sticked away by Urban. Ryan Urban, a big day already. 2 goals on the game. There's a battle for the puck in the corner. And a penalty will be called. Captain Shane Brennan making his way to the sin bin. 2 minutes for roughing. And although Penn State has scored 6 goals on the game, they are 0 for 3 on the power play. Going on their 4th chance. Rowan wins a face-off. Shot. Blocked off a Penn State player. Off a Singley. As Rowan looked to try and have a shorthanded chance there, but can't do it. Penn State now. Working it around the net. Passed out to Lees. He gets it back off a pass from Taylor Vincent, excuse me. Centering try and a score. Riley just completely out of position off of a pass he didn't expect. Josh Singley in on the play. We've called his name all day. He's been in the slot plenty of times. Goal number 11 on the season, point number 23. And off of a pass and without even hesitating, a pass on a centering opportunity and Singley finds Twine. And the lead increases to 7-1 in favor of Penn State. Correction on the goal. It's actually number 12, Frederick Lynch, who came off the ice with the injury to his arm, and he came back onto the ice, and he was in on that play. So credit Lynch with his 13th goal on the season. 25th point. Profs trying to get something going. Trying to put something on net. They can't do it. Played ahead by Francis Forney. He's still trying to get the puck, but the Profs will try and get it away from him. They do. Doherty playing it behind the net. Wilworth kicks it. Off the stick of Polis. Doherty will pick it up for Fowler. Fowler sending it across. As a shot fired wide. Curiali tries to fire, and that could be costly. A player in the goalie, a deke, and a score. Off the backhand, Francisco Roluzco with goal number 2 on the day. Goal number 21, point number 43 on the season. And this is just getting uglier as the Profs are just trying to get something going in their zone, an offensive flow, and it just hasn't been there all day. Roluzco takes advantage of a turnover. It's him and Riley, and Roluzco picks up the victory on that one. The Profs are now down 7 here at University Park. Chance again here for Penn State. Trying to work it through. Was Tyler Person. Rowan on a chance here. Grayson Petty for Chris McDermott. McDermott tries to put a shot on it. It'll be blocked away by his stick. Petty behind the net. For McDermott, oh, centering chance for Polis. Logan Rogers fires a shot into his skate. And now it's a 3-on-2. Is Penn State going to keep trying to pile it on here? Shot fired. Glove saved by Riley. Rebound. Oh, the right side of the net was open, but they were unable to flick it in. Where the Nittany Lions. Sending it in are the Profs, and they'll make a line change. Penn State playing it through, looking for a centering chance. Nikolai dumps it in. Play by Degatano, and a big check. That was Nikolai. Taking the puck, trying to center it in on a shot as more pushing and subbing ensues after the play. Taylor Vincent looking for Abraham Edson. .9:31 to go here in the third. Penn State dominating, up 7. So Penn State, as we are now in the second half of the third period, looking to secure that number 1 seed, which means Rowan will have a matchup with Temple in the first round of the MAC North playoffs. Or in the MAC playoffs, excuse me. Work back now for Peter Kaz. Kaz sending it all the way around, played by Degatano. Ansley tries to play with it, but Prof's able to stop him as the shot's fired. Looked like it might have caught iron. Puck played into the board, 3 Profs, 2 Nittany Lions, they come out with it. Slap shot fired, but again a block by Penn State. It's Frank Tricino on the play. They'll send it in. Penn State will make a line change. Rowan now going to reset, try and get something going. Again, a pass is just not finding its destination. Not finding the mark, and that's been quite the story today. Prof's just not able to handle pucks cleanly. They'll try and get one back here. Here comes Shane Brennan on a wrist shot. It's just wide. Penn State tried to clear it. Dalton O'Connor offside. They had to reset. Penn State sending it down. Taylor Vincent has been in the box on the power play. Didn't catch the call from before. So the Profs have been on the power play. The power play is now expired. And they are 1 for 5 today on power plays. And icing will be called as the puck gets sent down behind the net. 8-1, Penn State here in the third, 7:18 to go. With Penn State scoring 7 unanswered goals. We were at a point in the first where it was a 1-1 tie, believe it or not. But Penn State just too much for the Profs today. Profs not really able to find an answer. Sent all the way down the length of the ice. Penn State will take it behind their net. Played into the near side boards. Try to be played through for Joe Bonazelli. Battle of the 17s fighting for the puck there, as well as Charles Quigley in on the play. Hard pass, it'll be picked up. Play behind the net. Centering try, no one there. Play back to the point. Shot fired is blocked away by the skate of Polis. Puck was in front of the net, but no pass is able to be found. And it's sent all the way back down to the other end of the ice. We apologize if the live stream kicked off for a little bit there. We seem to be having some technical difficulties, so we apologize.
What you've missed? Well, you missed a lot. 3 consecutive goals scored by Penn State, and things are getting ugly.
Dalton O'Connor as well as Joe Bonazelli in on a little scrum there. And it looks like Dalton O'Connor's going to find his way into the sin bin. Dalton O'Connor makes his way into the penalty box. Player who had 7 points in 4 games. 5 goals, 2 assists. Unable to register a point today as of this point. Unsportsmanlike penalty called on O'Connor. 5th opportunity on the power play for Penn State, who, astonishingly enough, has not been able to connect on a power play chance. Play is stopped. And the net, I guess they thought the net was knocked off its moorings. 5:41 to go here in the 3rd period. Drop of the puck in Rowan zone, won by Penn State. And the Lions winning it behind the net, looking for another centering opportunity. It's there. On a shot. And they're going to wave off a goal. Shot was made by Neil Lacing. But the play was called dead, and the puck will come to the near side boards. Rob Woolworth going to take the face off for the Profs. Played back and won by the Profs, trying to clear. Glove down by Person. Able to block a clearance opportunity. Person gets it back to the point. Nice moves. Shot fired. And just wide.
And that came off its moorings yet again. No one's adjusted it yet. I'm telling you, I don't know whether it's the ice or the net's just not being properly secured, but these nets have bounced off their moorings quite a lot during this game.
Person here on the near side boards works it back for Lacing. Lacing to the point for DeMarcus, Logan DeMarcus. Person back for Lacing, looking on a centering opportunity, but it's able to be knocked away by the Profs. 30 seconds left on the power play. That's a clearance. And for the last 23, the Profs will get a new penalty kill unit out there, as well as Penn State making some changes. Taking a shot there and sending it over. Hard slap shot, rebound. Big hit by Nick Fowler is going to cause the net to now be more off its moorings. No pun intended. 4:11 to go here in the 3rd. Here comes Slavo Auction trying to go shorthanded. Oh, that puck came out as a player from Penn State was holding. Look out, and a punch at the end of the push at the end of the play. Look out. Shane Brennan also went on that push. And the referees will have to break that one up. Tensions rising here.
Shane Brennan, normally a pretty cool-headed guy, not too happy with the way Penn State has been treating his guys, and I don't blame him. This has just been not a fun game for Rowan. 8-1's the score. Penn State really just came out and dominated Rowan. They've flat out took Rowan into a chokehold. Now they're just slowly applying the pressure, and you're starting to see Rowan in the frustrations of an entire season of work come into fruition. This is just, it's frustrating for Rowan because they've really worked hard to get where they're at, and to sit here and have an opportunity to come into Penn State and win, and Then, of course, the last-minute change kind of messed things up a little bit. It's frustrating, and I can fully understand Shane Brennan, being a little bit ticked off, and, rightfully so.
Spencer Svoboda in the box, as well as Kyle Lees. Cross-checking penalty on both players. So the Profs are on a 5-on-3 here on the double penalty. Dalton O'Connor with a shot. Pad save by Degatano. Brennan playing it across for O'Connor to Doherty. Doherty, slap shot. Blocked away by a couple of sticks. Tried to be cleared. Doherty keeps it in. Shane Brennan playing it back now for Dalton O'Connor. O'Connor playing it for Doherty, sending it across. And off a stick. That took a weird bounce. Doherty for O'Connor. O'Connor on a wrist shot. It's blocked away by Brent Antelike. 55 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Leszewski playing it back, and unfortunately that puck's going to come back to the other side of the ice. Playing it in, Leszewski, as Penn State was trying to make a line change, they are going to catch up to him. Check off the boards. Taken now. Back for Doherty. Doherty to O'Connor. O'Connor. No look pass. On a centering chance for Leszewski, but it goes wide. And a clearance by Abraham Edson of the Nittany Lions. 14 seconds to go on the Profs power play. Their sixth opportunity of the day on the power play as a shot is fired. That's away by Degatano and cleared, and that'll do it for the Profs power play. Sixth opportunity on the day. 1 for 6. Their lone goal, a goal by Slavo Auction. He fires a wrist shot. And Degatano is able to corral it. 1:51 to go here in the third. A 7-goal lead for Penn State. Face-off won by Penn State. Working it around the net. And back to the far side boards, across the near side boards. Centering try, no one's home, no Lions in the area. Nick Fowler playing it across, and it's sent back to him. Skipped ahead. Chris McDermott in there on a chance. Charles Quigley on a shot. He scores. Quigley from about the blue line fires a shot into traffic, and it finds a top right corner of the net, and the Profs get one back here. 8-2 your score.
So Rowan after that, minute 12. Too little, too late, and you're in the third period with just over a minute left, but nice to see Rowan get one, especially Charles Quigley. He's earned it. He rehabbed from serious foot injury that left him thinking he could have possibly not played the rest of this season. Now 3 goals in the last 2 games. You could say he's heating up a little bit, but the Profs really just a little bit too little, too late, and this is going to be a game they're going to wish they had a do-over.
Final 50 seconds of this game here in the third. As Cody Riley sticks that one away. Rowan may be pushing for one last effort for a goal here as Grayson Petty tries to look for Tyler Glassman. And the Profs just kind of not giving chase to that puck. Keller will. Penn State taking it back in their zone. Shane Brennan giving chase. Penn State will take it. Final 7 seconds. Penn State will work it around the net. And that'll do it. The Penn State Nittany Lions come up with a huge victory to clinch the #1 seed in the MAC North. An 8-2 victory over the Rowan Profs. In a game that was just all Nittany Lions, Rowan finally responded after allowing 7 unanswered. We'll give you the scoring recap real quick. Francisco Reluzco, 2 by Keith Urban. Neil Lacing, 2 by Christopher Lewis. Another one by Francisco Reluzco. And for the Profs, a power play goal from Slava Auction and Charles Quigley there on the late goal. But the Profs are going to lock up that #2 spot in the MAC North. And we'll have a date with Temple come February 13th in the Mid-Atlantic playoffs. Benny, any last thoughts? Where do you think the Profs go from here? I mean, you know, the MAC North is now set. You talk about the Southeast region. That's still something to keep in mind. You still got a ranking period coming up on the 14th, the final ranking. Where do the Profs go from here, and what's their mindset?
Well, I think their mindset is next week, take care of business at Monmouth, and then, of course, you have your final 2 games at the home. They play very well at the road, 8-1-2 on the season for Rowan at home. These final 2 games are going to be very important. You play Virginia Tech, comes into your hometown. Of course, we stuck it to Virginia Tech. Rowan stuck it to Virginia Tech fairly easily. And, of course, you got University of Delaware coming in. I think Rowan, playing host to these teams, it's going to be easy to see that, or interesting to see if Rowan can win those games and end the season with some big key conference wins and move up the rankings a little bit. His loss to Penn State hurt, yeah, sure, but Penn State also, they might be moving up a little bit. Miami of Ohio recently lost, and Ohio lost, so Penn State could see themselves as high as 2nd in the rankings in terms of the region. So Rowan may not, people may look at this loss and say, wow, 8-2 to Penn State. You challenged them at your own house 3-2. That's not looking too good. You know what I say, and I look at it this way. This is a Penn State team that's very good. There's no contesting that. This is a team that's at another level in terms of the way they're playing hockey right now. So I think Rowan, game comes out of this one. Sure, you want to lower your head. You got beaten pretty bad 8-2, but I think at the end of the day, quick rollover, got 2 goals against one of the best teams in the region. They played very well, and I think at the end of the day, you hold your head high and say, we gave it our all, we worked pretty hard, just the results weren't what we wanted.
We want to remind you for the rest of our RTN Sports hockey schedule, next week, Friday, January 30th, we'll be at Monmouth for an RTN light shoot. That game slated for an 8:30 start time. Then next Saturday, we're back for a full shoot at Hollydale against Virginia Tech for an 8:15 start. And the Profs will round out the regular season with the University of Delaware with a home regular season finale, in which are going to be big games, as Benny said, in reference to the Southeast Regional rankings. Once again, your final score from Pagula Ice Center here in University Park, Pennsylvania. Penn State 8, your Rowan University Profs 2. For my partner, Benny Pinella, our producer, Jose Batista, and the entire RTN crew, we thank you for watching. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.
This has been a presentation of the Rowan Television Network.